Hey guys, once again, this is being recorded post playthrough. Actually, you'll see even without the external audio input that I had some moments on the collector ship just now where you could see like my game is freezing up slowly. That I with or without adrenaline rush, the shots I was firing were really scattered. They were coming out more slowly than usual. I have a feeling my whole Fraps is falling apart, and I had to redo several scenes, not because I died, but because Fraps was just bugging out on me. Anyway, that's common knowledge now if you've been watching what I've said. So I want to talk about what I call the destroyer soldier. Uh, I initially had planned on getting the Widow, but I had already done a few videos of the Widow, and I wanted to show you basically how I play when I take the Revenant. Of course, when you take the Revenant, you want to change your build. I did right before. Normally, I would also have. Let me take Disruptor ammo here. Normally, I would have take Dunthane's recruitment mission to get the Viper. I didn't do that. As you see on the ship, I only used the Revenant with one exception when the Praetorian is coming towards me. I fire about a clip full of the Phalanx pistol, and that's it. Every other, I use only the Revenant. It's a bit exaggerated, but normally I would probably mix it up between the Viper and the Revenant, but that's pretty much all I would be using. For both reasons that the Viper has tons of ammo for a sniper rifle, and it works really well with Shock Trooper and Hardened Adrenaline Rush, and because you get more shots in, and it takes your Adrenaline Rush is not 5 seconds but 6 seconds because you have the power duration bonus. And well, anyway, so yeah, the reason, first off, before I get to my playstyle of the Revenant, my build, I take Shock Trooper and Hardened Adrenaline Rush because the more rapid fire your weapon is, be it rapid fire, semi-automatic, or automatic, especially automatic weapons, the fewer shots you're going to get if you have more time slowdown dilation, which is kind of weird, but I've tested this and it's really true. So basically, when you hit Adrenaline Rush and say you have heightened, especially with a Revenant, you're going to be probably doing less damage and Commando, even though you have a higher damage bonus as far as your weapons are concerned and heightened Adrenaline Rush. The reason is because you're going to let less shots in. Overall, despite the faster time dilation and the Shock Trooper giving you less damage bonus, you get the power extension, gives you an extra second. So also, you're basically going to be doing more damage with a weapon like such as the Revenant than you would with Heighten. In any other case, if it's not full auto, with the exception of possibly the new pistol, the Phalanx, which seems to take it's slow, so you're probably better off with Hardened or vanilla Adrenaline Rush when you're building your soldier in the beginning. Anyway, so that's my build. I don't really bother with extra powers with the soldier in general, and especially when I have the Revenant. I just try to max out Inferno, Squad, Cryo, Disruptor, don't bother with Concussive Shot, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But you see how I play. I try to be as aggressive as possible, and I really get up in the enemy's face a lot of the time. There are a couple instances you see me, I just run up to Harvard, I don't even have full shields, I'm like, half a health, and I just blast away point blank. That's because my belief, the Destroyer Soldier, as I call it, is with the which goes hand in hand with the Revenant. You can't be the Destroyer Soldier without the Revenant. Is because the Revenant, in my opinion, it's a light machine gun. It's not an assault rifle. I do use it occasionally, obviously in mid-range sometimes, because I only use the weapon. It's the only weapon I use apart from that one scene where I use the pistol. Because first off, let's talk about the problems with the Revenant. The Revenant has horrific accuracy, and I have 5 upgrades on the Revenant, so it's after the accuracy upgrade. And the recoil is just insane. Yes, you can point towards the feet and let it rip upwards, fine. But the point is, it's not even a mid-range weapon in my opinion. It's really a short-range to point-blank range weapon in my humble opinion. That's how I use it for most of the part you saw in the video. With a few exceptions, say the Praetorian, a couple of enemies and clusters, because I don't want to storm run into 4 different enemies. That would be a little tricky even with the power of Shock Trooper and Hardened Adrenaline Rush. But yeah, what I try to do is I always try to press forward no matter what. I try never to retreat, especially when I'm playing I mean in general, but also especially when I'm playing the destroyer soldier, as I call it. So you'll see I try to get up as close as possible to the enemy. And if it's one enemy, even Harbinger at full barriers and shields, I have no problem bum rushing him and going point blank, face spot, just blasting away at him. That's how I believe the Revenant should be used. I think it's the funnest way to use it. You don't want to be in cover too much for the Revenant. I mean, check if you have Shock Trooper and a couple upgrades on your shields, and a couple of health upgrades, and Hardened Adrenaline Rush, you're going to be able to take a fair amount of punishment. And you should use that to your advantage. You're going to want to run around towards the enemy and blast them apart. I mean, at point blank, even without Adrenaline Rush going, I mean, you're talking about a second or two, and basically any enemy, I mean, a basic enemy is dead in less than a second, possibly. If that's, I haven't timed it. But even Harbinger, you saw, once you get to armor, with a combination of Inferno, and the Revenant is relatively weak against barriers and shields, but has a 40% damage with its armor. I mean, it is a beast against armor. It's dead. The Harbinger dies. So, yeah, in my opinion, the best strategy with Revenant is always getting as close as possible. The best, of course, position is second best is short range. Best position, of course, is point blank. I mean, literally in your face, just blasting away. And the other thing about the Revenant is the benefit in some ways of its inaccuracy and its recoil, in my opinion, is you're not a precision. I mean, if I want to talk about two different builds for the soldier, I would talk about the precision soldier versus destroyer. Precision, you're going to probably be taking the Widow. All your shots, all your weapons, at this point in time, you'd be sticking with the Mattock Heavy Rifle, which is, after the Revenant, the best rifle you can have. And it's really accurate but powerful, but you want to make sure your shots count as low ammo count. But you don't have to worry about the Revenant, because in addition to its power, it has a massive clip. I mean, it is not impossible, but it's very hard to run out of ammo. I came kind of close towards the end. I didn't record it fighting the husks, but so it's definitely possible. And I'll see you in a little bit, because my fraps, I want to make sure I get everything in here.